What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications anytime something comes up on the channel. I hope you guys had a great Christmas or happy holiday and a great new year. It's time to start 2021. Hopefully this year is gonna be a heck of a lot better than 2020. I know 2020 for me wasn't the greatest, and my family wasn't the greatest. The drifting world, it definitely wasn't the greatest. Any sport really, and really all of the illness that's gone on. I know there's been a lot of families impacted by that, and our hearts go out to you guys, those who've been affected. We're just ready for a new year. Hopefully new things come. Hopefully this COVID thing goes away this year, or at least dies down a little bit to where we can get out and enjoy ourselves. But today is all about prep of prep. I know you guys have been wondering about the LS E36 project, and I'm going to tell you that we are working on it. Today is Sunday, January 3rd. It is gonna be one step in the right direction of getting started with the build again on the E36. Next Sunday we will definitely be diving back in, and on the next video I will let you guys know what we are doing to the car. But like I said, today is prep of prep, and I bet you're wondering, why are you in such a low light garage, or why are you in such a low light scenario? Well, that is what the video is about today. We are going to be installing some new lights in the garage so that we have all the light that we need to do all the prep work and all of the building of the car and make it a little easier on us. So the garage setup right now is that light, solely that light, because that one blew. So even with both lights, you can see that it's gonna be pretty dim in here. So I went to Harbor Freight and I grabbed some of these bad boys, and I got 4 of them, and they're 55 Lumen LED shop lights, and I'm gonna hang them from the ceiling. So once we break open the boxes, you guys will see what those look like. I have seen a couple of reviews on these lights, and they're pretty good for the money. I mean, Harbor Freight, you can't go wrong with all the discounts that you get from Harbor Freight. Nothing is actually retail price, and for the money, I don't think I could have gone wrong. I mean, they were 35 bucks a piece. I got 4 of them, and I think they're gonna light up this garage great. And the only thing that I had issues with was figuring out if I wanted to wire it up to the existing light, or if I wanted to just plug them into the wall whenever it was time to put them, when it was time to turn them on. So I've decided that that is probably the route that I'm gonna go, just to be safe, where we're just gonna plug it up into the wall whenever we wanna turn them on. So what we'll do is we'll hook them all up, and they actually daisy chain together, so you can actually have 8 of them running off of one light if it's plugged in. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook a cable into the wall, run it to the first light, and then daisy chain them all together so that they all turn on at the same time whenever we plug in the power strip. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these unboxed and show you guys what's inside of them. But before we do that, I wanted to let you guys see the engine is back from the machine shop. Don't mind the covers, they're dirty. I haven't cleaned the covers yet. Haven't cleaned the valve covers, haven't cleaned the front cover or rear cover. I just simply put the heads on and all the covers just to try and keep moisture out if I can. Put the oil pan on, just snugged some bolts, just to try and keep moisture out, like I said, so we don't get rust everywhere. I'm sure you guys are as excited as I am about getting this thing done, and we are moving steps and steps closer each and every day, because we're ordering parts, we're getting parts, and eventually we're gonna be at the point where we can just throw it all together. I actually have a whole stack of parts over here. I won't tell you what they are. That's just gaskets and stuff, but these are special boxes here. If you guys follow me on social media, you will probably be seeing what is in those boxes soon. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram at TylerBerry238, and we might just drop some hints on what is in those boxes this week. Anyway, back to it. We'll go ahead and open up these boxes and see what we have inside. All right. Let's get this thing open. So here is the light. Let me get it out of the bubble wrap. It doesn't look like a bad little piece. So it does look like we will be hanging them by chains, and they'll go in right there and there. So we will have to drill some holes up in the ceiling somewhere where we decide to place them. Overall, I don't think that it's going to be a bad product. On each end you can see there that it's got a plug so that each of them can plug into each other. And then this main plug will obviously go into our extension cord and end up powering all of them once we get the first one put in. And it came with chains to hang them with, and also the anchors for the ceiling to screw the little hooks into. So that's nice. Here's the instructions, which we'll just throw those away. It's very dull in here, and should liven it up. Now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put them on here. So I have 4. All right, so this is where the problem comes in, and we've got to strategically place these because this only goes that far. So we have to figure out the best way to mount these without being super close to each other, but also close to each other so that this will reach and to where we can daisy chain them together. So with that being the problem, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to just cut a little bit of this off and then splice it into another light. That way we have basically 10 feet, and then if we don't use the 10 feet, then I can just wrap up one of the cords and zip tie it to the top of the light. So we're gonna cut one of these apart and cut the other one apart and then just kind of splice them into each other. So lucky for me, I actually bought this wiring kit thinking that I was going to be wiring them into the ceiling directly where our lights are currently, but we're not gonna do that, but this will come in handy for splicing these together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut one off of the other. I'm gonna cut one end off of this one and one end off of that one, and put them together, put some butt connectors on them, tighten them down really good, and then put some heat shrink on them, and maybe they'll do the job for a little while at least. So we're gonna take this one. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna cut it off kind of toward the plug. Then we got 3 wires. Got 3 wires there, so I'm just gonna separate them and put them exactly where the other one is. So now we have all 3 of these wires like this. The only problem I'm having now is one is green and the other 2 are black. All right, so I basically had to retrace my steps. So on the top of this plug, don't know if you can see it, but there's actually writing on this side, but not this side. So I looked at this plug and the writing on the top of this. So basically it would be like this if you were looking at it. So in order to plug them in together, I have to flip this one so that it's like this. So I'm gonna tear these apart right here and put them together like that, and then that should be good. All right, so there's all 3 of those. Now we're going to put shrink wrap on this other side here, and then put them in together, and then we'll test it before we go any further. All right, and just like that, we have our 3 wires together. So now what we're gonna do is plug in one of these lights, and then make sure it works.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Well, I'm gonna be the first to say that I just made a stupid mistake. I didn't even think about this, but literally these 2 things are not supposed to go together. Now I have no way to plug the light into the wall. So that's just me being dumb, I guess, but we can still use this as an extension. What I can do is actually cut part of this here, and I can splice this back into it. That way it has a place to plug in to an extension cord that runs up to it, while that one still can plug into the side there. So now I didn't hurt myself, I just made a lot more work for myself. So now I'm just gonna have to splice both of these back into this wire, and that way it has somewhere to plug in. So we're gonna have to do that now. So now we gotta hope that we have enough wire here to splice these back together. So I got this plug back on this one, put a little electric tape around it, and then I got this one put back on this one. It's a short harness, but I've got an extension cord that's gonna go into it. So we're gonna try and plug it up real quick and see if it works. Plug the extension cord into the outlet. Here, it's plugged in. and it works. So that's how it's going to work. And then this one will simply just plug into this. We'll just plug into the side here. Boom. Man, I can tell you that it is already a lot lighter in here just with these two. So I thought I screwed myself and I realized that I didn't. So I'm very happy. All I did was create extra work for myself, which in turn, it's what I should have done anyway, is just use what one came with as kind of an extender for the other, since we don't really need that much to go to the extension cord that's gonna be on the ceiling. So really, this would have had to happen anyway. It's just I didn't realize it, or else I wouldn't have cut those plugs off as close as I did to the plug. So don't do that if you're gonna do this. I've just learned, and I'll be the first to tell you that I screwed up. So we're gonna go ahead and continue with this. I still haven't even started hanging these yet, so what I'm gonna do is grab these and put them right up around here, which is about where my lights are now. I'm just gonna offset it a little bit, and then those should be good to go. And I'm ready to see what it looks like. So hold on, bear with me while I figure out a way to hang these. So that one is up, and I'm gonna put the other one over in here. Just give a little bit of room there between the two, and then do the same thing over here. Thought about staggering them, but I'm not going to, just to keep it symmetrical. I meant to go a little bit closer to that light, but oh well, it'll be all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and hang the other one. All right, so I got that one up too, and I'm just gonna tell you, I had to jump all over through here. I got a ladder, I had to have it. Otherwise I would have had to stand on the hood. And if I would have had to stand on the hood, I would have collapsed it. So we got that one hung, and I don't care if it's perfect or not. I'm done with it. I'm starting to realize that this isn't exactly where I wanted this stuff, so we're just gonna make it do. I think it's gonna give off plenty of light. Trust me, I don't think that it's gonna be an issue. But now we just gotta reciprocate it over to this side. Measured off the wall for each of those hooks. They're 70 inches off the wall. These two hooks are 17 inches apart, which leaves a foot gap between those two lights. That wire up there, I'll probably end up zip tying it to make it look a little neater. But this one is the one that's gonna go over to this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on this side now that I have a ladder. All right, I will never ever do this again unless I have a great way of measuring from wall to wall. I just hung up the last light. Now all we have to do is wire them up. But I had to create a tool in order to be able to measure to the wall from where I was 70 inches because the measuring tape kept collapsing. So here is the tool that I made. So what I did was basically put that at the end of the stick and zip tied it pretty tight to where it wouldn't move, and then just measured 70 inches out and placed the hook there. It was a horrible way to do it, but I used the resources I had, and now they're all up. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish wiring these up, and then we'll let you guys see what the final result looks like. Regular paint roller stick, you say? No, says I. Measuring stick. Whoop-pow! All right, so I got them all wired, and you can see, so this one piggybacks onto this one. I'm gonna fix that later. I'm gonna add another one of those hooks up there on that side, and then another one on this side. But that one chains over to this one where it gets its power, and this one comes off of this one, which has a cord going down through here and down through the wall and to here. It's plugged in. So we're gonna turn these things on and see how much brighter it is in here. Here we go. It's so bright in here. Wow, These made such a difference, and it is bright white in this garage now instead of that horrible yellow brownie color that it normally is from that bulb. You can see the difference there. Yeah, these things are super bright. In case you guys are wondering about what these are the Braun 5500 Lumen 4-foot dual LED linkable shop lights. And I do say I have to recommend them if you are looking to brighten up your garage or your shop. Obviously this is just a small garage, but it did liven up the place, and it's gonna make it perfect for when we get back into working on this thing again and getting it all put together. I'm gonna, at a later date, finish putting these wires up and make them look a little neater, because right now they look kind of weird, but we'll get it all settled and make it look nice. But it looks great in here now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video of what we were doing, and this is just one video of more to come in this build series. So on the next video, you guys are gonna see some work to the car, and I'm super excited. Our whole team is super excited to be working on this thing again, and we're getting places, and we're ready to start off the year right by working on this thing and trying to get it out the door for our first test days. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure and comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See you.
Yeah.